Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with the free pick in the Texans versus Jaguars NFL matchup on Sunday, November 26, 2023. Of course, I do tons of free picks every day, and everyone always asks what games I like the best. Well, so I put those over in the premium picks area over at Pickdawgz.com. You can use the discount code PICK, get 15% off anything you buy over there. Of course, we also now have Dime Club and Sharp Trading Plays. These are meant for people who make big bets. They're not available on the website. The only way to get it is to text the number you see on the screen. So if you're a big bettor, text that number. But let's get to this one. Texans taking on the Jaguars. This is a rematch of a game earlier in the year, dominated by the Texans. And in fact, looking at this series overall, the Texans really have gotten the best of it for the most part for a very, very long time. And sometimes, when you look at these games, you say, oh, well, maybe they've dominated winning the games, but they haven't been covering the spread. No, the Texans have been winning and covering the spread in this series for a long time. Of course, these are two teams that have drafted traditionally pretty high in the NFL draft, so it doesn't really say a lot, that one team has dominated over the other. Probably didn't take much over that stretch, but this year a totally different story. The Texans, one of the big turnarounds, if not the biggest turnaround in the NFL, going from drafting way high second and third picks overall in the draft to a 6-4 record, and if the season ended, they would be in the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Jaguars at 7-3, they're contending with the Dolphins and the Ravens for the best overall record in the AFC. That's exactly where they are. They're at 7-3. The Dolphins, after that win over the Jets, are 8-3, and the Ravens 8-3 headed into tonight's game with the Los Angeles Chargers. So a lot to be settled there, and I mean, really, that number one seed in the AFC, certainly within their reach. Of course, the Kansas City Chiefs also tied with them, and they also own the head-to-head, beating the Jacksonville Jaguars earlier this season. We've seen the Jaguars kind of come into their own here with Trevor Lawrence and Etienne leading the way on the offense. And, of course, you can't have a good team without a really good defense. Of course, the Jags, when they've lost bad. That game to the Texans, they got roughed up. And, of course, that game against the 49ers as well. Both those games, though, were in Jacksonville. They've been a lot better on the road. Meanwhile, for the Texans, they have won 4 of their last 5 games, beating the Cardinals, the Bengals, the Bucks, and the Saints, and losing, of all teams, to the Carolina Panthers. Sometimes the NFL, very, very tough to figure out, but one thing we do know, DeMeco Ryans likely headed for Coach of the Year honors for the job that he's done in Houston with this football team. And Stroud, the quarterback for the Texans, likely headed towards the AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year, if not the overall Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFL. But the Texans defense, despite DeMeco Ryans being the guy, really is a little bit lacking for the most part. While the Jags, certainly a more mature defense, not great on the pass defense side of things, but against the run, stuffing it up. And to me, I'll take a team that can stop the run any day of the week. I'm going to roll with the Jags to get revenge here, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, while you're doing your picks, putting your bets in, be sure to check out our free betting tools at Sports Chat Place. They'll tell you how often, historically, all of the bets on the board today actually hit, then pair them with today's odds, and then for a very high level, explain to you why these are the most favorable bets on the board today.